Hi everyone, my name is Carl Johnson and I work for the FAA's Flight Standards Service as a Foreign Affairs Specialist. I'm also a pilot who used to fly for the airlines and as a flight instructor. I'm here to talk to you today about your interest in becoming a pilot. So if you're here, you've probably at least thought about becoming a pilot and maybe you were even considering it as a potential career path. That's great and we're really excited you're here. Or maybe you're thinking becoming a pilot might be right for you, but you have some questions. That's great, you've come to the right place. Or maybe you've never really thought about becoming a pilot, but it sounds cool and you want to know some more. That's great. This will also be a good session where you can learn some more information. So I'm going to start off with the basics, and many of you may be asking, what do pilots do? Most of you probably know the answer to this one. We fly aircraft. What you may not know is that aircraft include airplanes, helicopters, balloons, gliders, and pretty much anything else you can think of that is capable of sustained and controlled flight. What this means, of course, is that there are a lot of other jobs as a pilot besides flying for an airline. For example, you could fly for a cargo airline, you could fly in the military, you could fly as a flight instructor, you could do corporate aviation or what we call charter operations, you could fly for the government, you could fly for law enforcement, you could do aviation firefighting, what they call fire bombers, dropping water from airplanes or helicopters. You could do aerial application or agricultural operations, sometimes called crop dusters, banner towing, flight instructing, air shows. There really is pretty unlimited opportunities for pilots out in the industry. So that's great. There are lots of jobs, but some of you might be asking an even more basic question. Is flying fun? I'm here to tell you that in my opinion, it's very fun, but it all depends on your personal experience. If you like being in control of your own destiny, if you like exploring, flying an airplane can be very, very fun. Maybe you've had the experience so far in your life of riding a bike anywhere you wanted to go, or taking a long walk and just wandering wherever the walk took you. Flying an airplane can really give you a similar sense of freedom, and that's why so many people love it. So then some of you may be wondering, well, if flying is so fun, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, there's probably a couple of answers to that. One of the reasons is it's a very challenging bar to entry. It can be very difficult and time-consuming and expensive to become a pilot, so you have to be committed. The other reason is that when you're flying for an airline or for a corporate operator or any other operation where you're earning revenue, you're typically not going to be home every night. So if you're someone who likes to be home a lot and you're not someone who enjoys traveling all the time, you may want to consider something else, or you might want to consider, maybe I want to become a pilot, but just not an airline pilot or somebody who has to be away often. There are careers in piloting where you can be home every night, but they're somewhat more difficult to come by than some of the more traditional paths. Another question I often get asked as a pilot is, if I want to become a pilot, do I have to be good at math? And I'm here to tell you I'm not very good at math, so the answer is no. You will use math as a pilot, and having a good basic understanding of math, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and even some basic geometry and algebra is important, and it will help you in becoming a pilot. But you don't have to be a math expert to be a pilot, and certainly you don't need the mathematical expertise that you would need to, say, be an engineer. All right, so maybe you're done with all those questions and you're wondering, how do I become a pilot? How do I actually go through the process of becoming a pilot? Well, the answer is there's several paths. You can go to a college or university to become a pilot. You can do it on your own by going to a local flight school and learning to fly. You can look at joining the military and they will teach you to fly in certain cases. There's many different paths you can take to becoming a pilot. However, as a first step, I do recommend that you take what's called an introduction flight or a discovery flight, as they're often called. And those can be found at most of your local airports. We're going to provide you some more resources here where you can find out how to do a discovery flight and how you can learn more about the different paths to becoming a pilot. So some of you may also be wondering whether it's a good time to become a pilot. This is a very cyclical industry, and actually, I'll share with you that part of the reason I work for the FAA is because I got laid off at the airline that I worked for. However, the good news for you is the industry is in very good shape and it's growing very fast. In fact, the Bureau for Labor and Statistics projects that airline and commercial pilots jobs are projected to grow at 13% from 2020 to 2030, which is faster than the average for all occupations. They estimate that about 14,500 openings for airline and commercial pilots are projected each year on average over the next decade. In addition to that, there's a lot of new technology coming online, such as vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, that will likely increase that demand for pilots. So it's a good time to consider the career. So I hope I've been able to answer as many questions as possible that you might be having. However, we're also going to provide you with those links here on the STEM site so that you can look at that information after this video. Thanks again for joining me today. It's been great talking with you, and have a great day.